Welcome into Rogue Football. I'm your host, Jordan Lugo. Thank you so much for tuning in here. Today we are talking about the Seattle Seahawks. Can they take the next step in 2023? They made it to the wild card round of the playoffs in 2022 with a 9-8 record. They had to win their final two games of the regular season to punch that ticket, only to be rewarded with a matchup against the San Francisco 49ers, their division rival and one of the most complete rosters and best coaching staffs in football in the wild card round. Did not go well for them, but high-flying offense led by Geno Smith, a team that looks like they could be on the rise. I think they did a lot of positive things this offseason with their draft, with some of the people that they brought in. We'll take a deep dive into the Seattle Seahawks right now. Appreciate y'all for being here. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Really helps us out. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers during the 2023 football season. Get this channel monetized. Again, thank you so much for being here. So, Geno Smith. Let's start with the quarterback position, right? A guy who was kind of cast off in New York, but has always had the talent to push the ball down the field, has always been an accurate passer. So his ability to push the ball vertically in Shane Waldron's offense was a big catalyst for what happened in Seattle last year on the offensive side of the ball. He was also efficient with his accuracy. He had 35 big-time throws. I mean, that was fifth most in the NFL. There's a lot of talented quarterbacks throwing the pigskin around these days, and Geno Smith was able to convert at an extremely high rate throwing the football down the field. He also had his fair share of turnover-worthy plays, there's no doubt about that, but gosh, he was really fun in 2022, and the passing game weapons, I mean, my goodness, you look at DK Metcalf, monster on the vertical plane, right? Tyler Lockett, one of the best, most underrated receivers of our time. I think no doubt about it. And then you add Jackson Smith and Jigba in the draft. My wide receiver one in the draft, a guy who's really probably going to be a slot superstar in the league, a guy who can do so much for you, super talented, great route runner, great hands. I think missing most of the 2022 season at Ohio State really kind of dampened some of people's excitement about him, but he is as good as it gets from the slot. And so you have a three-headed monster at wide receiver for Geno Smith to throw the football to. You also have Noah Fant, some talent at the tight end position, some speed at the tight end position. So I think there's a lot to get excited about when you talk about their ability to push the ball vertically. Now their ability with Jackson Smith and Jigba to kind of control the middle of the field and be more efficient on the short game stuff as well. I think you really like what you see there. He's definitely got some yak ability as a receiver, so I think he complements what they already had really, really well. Love that pick in the first round by the Seattle Seahawks. The run game last year was fun as hell with Kenneth Walker. His speed, change of direction, contact balance, explosiveness, it's all really, really good, top-notch stuff for Kenneth Walker, the rookie in 2022. They add Zach Charbonnet, who I think is a really good addition in the draft out of UCLA. So is Kenny McIntosh, low-key, another very good addition at the running back spot. Now, obviously, they're dealing with some injuries there, and we'll get into that. Defensively, a lot of progress was made under Clint Hurt, who had been on staff for a while, but there still were some issues throughout the year for this Seahawks defense. They really struggled to stop the run in a big way. They showed plenty of promise, and they got back Bobby Wagner, so who should help against the run, but they're going to have to improve against the run tremendously. They averaged 150 yards allowed on the ground last year, so unacceptable number there. As I mentioned, some injury situations heading into the season right now. Jamal Adams, Reek Woolen, formerly Tariq, going by Reek now. Jordan Brooks, inside linebacker. Noah Fant, tight end, who has incredible speed and athleticism at the position. They're all working their way back, and now you've got Kenneth Walker, who has a little bit of a groin issue. Zach Charbonnet has a shoulder, apparently is out indefinitely. We'll see how all that plays out. But even with those injury issues, I think the Seahawks can still start strong in 2023 if things go their way. Offensively, everything is still intact for the most part, right? Walker is expected to be back sooner than later. He's expected to be back before the start of the regular season for them, so no major concern there. I love what Kenny McIntosh brings, and he's healthy. So even if there's no Zach Charbonnet, you still have those guys. You still have DJ Dallas. I think there's plenty of talent in that running back room and versatility to get by without Zach Charbonnet while he's out. They've got a really young and talented offensive line. Charles Cross, Abraham Lucas, draft picks last year. They really hit gold on those. I think Charles Cross is going to be a really good pass protector in this league. Abraham Lucas really impressed as well. Damian Lewis, a really good young interior offensive lineman. Phil Haynes did well for them last year. Shane Waldron, he is a smart offensive coordinator. I think that his offensive system combined with this entire group just really makes sense for me. And again, I think this collection of weapons, the play calling from Shane Waldron, Geno having the ability to push the ball vertically down the field with this group, and then adding JSN, who I think will make the entire group more difficult to deal with as you're worrying about Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf and Noah Fant getting downfield. Then you have JSN underneath who can just eat up yards. I think it's going to be a really difficult offense to game plan for and to deal with in game. Defensively, there are some questions, no doubt about it. Will they be better against the run? I don't know. When will Jamal Adams and Jordan Brooks be back? Again, not entirely sure on that one. They expect Jamal Adams back sometime soon. Jordan Brooks tore his ACL at the end of the 2022 season. So when will he be back? They will definitely be huge factors for them in the run game. They need them. The Seahawks need those two players in the run game. Obviously, Bobby Wagner is back. He will help against the run, but how much will he help against the run? I'm not sure. What I do like, though, is once they are able to get you in clear passing situations, love their edge group. It's young, it's fast, it's talented, athletic. Uchenna Nwosu, Darrell Taylor, Boye Mafe, draft pick last year. Derek Hall, a draft pick this year. They are a really fun group. And then you add Draymond Jones as an interior pass rusher who I think can get the job done at a pretty high level. Again, Bobby Wagner is back on the second level. And in the secondary, you've got Reek Woolen. And then you drop in one of my favorite cornerbacks in the draft, Devon Witherspoon. Whenever Jamal Adams returns, I really like what they have in their safety room. They added Julian Love from the New York Giants. So pairing Julian Love with Quandre Diggs, with Jamal Adams whenever he's back, I think that was a really underrated signing this offseason. I think you can see a lot of three safety sets for them, and I think that they can have a lot of versatility with those three safety sets on the back end. So I think that was one of the more underrated signings of the offseason. Julian Love is a really good football player. And Reek Woolen, an athletic marvel, a guy who can make crazy plays on the ball, who can really eat up yards, eat up space as a guy who can make up ground, physical corner as well. I think he's going to be really impressive going into year two. You add Devon Witherspoon in the first round along with JSN. I think he's one of the most exciting young corners we've seen in a little while, just based on the way he plays the game, the physicality, the aggressive nature with which he plays the game, but it's controlled aggression from Devon Witherspoon. I think he's going to be a fantastic addition to their secondary. You put him opposite Tariq Woolen, and I think you're going to be cooking with fire as long as you can keep Woolen healthy. And then you've got Kobe Bryant playing in the slot. He's a playmaker. Rookie in 2022. I think he should be more consistent in 2023. Hopefully he can continue the playmaking, but just add a little bit more consistency. And I think that's one of the guys you absolutely pull for. A good young player. Great special teams unit that is going to help them in that third phase. So I think there's a lot of things to really get excited about for the Seattle Seahawks here. The question is, though, can they take the next step? I think the answer is yes, but what exactly does that mean? For me, I think it's just being a more consistent team from start to finish in 2023 than they were in 2022. They were a very young team. I think they're still a pretty young team, but they've got more experience under their belt. I think this is a team that's going to win 10-plus games in 2023 and comfortably make the playoffs. They're definitely a playoff team for me, but are they ready to take over the top spot in their division in the NFC West? I don't think so. I cannot get them to be a more complete team in 2023 than the San Francisco 49ers. They are such a juggernaut from a coaching and a personnel standpoint, and the marriage of those two. Even though the Seahawks might have a more high-flying passing game, I just can't get past all the talent and all the great coaching that the San Francisco 49ers have. And they brought in Steve Wilkes as their DC. Great move for them. So I don't have the Seahawks winning their division. I don't have them winning the NFC either. But I can see them winning a playoff game this year, as long as they don't get matched up with the 49ers in the wild card round, right? And I think whoever they do play in the playoffs, whether they win, lose, whether they're able to, get past the wild card round, whoever they play, they're going to give them hell. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a hard-fought game. They're going to keep fighting. They're a team that can strike really quickly on the offensive side of the ball. I think they're going to have more answers on defense in 2023 than they did in 2022. You add Devon Witherspoon. You add Bobby Wagner. You add Julian Love. You add Draymond Jones. I think you're going to be a more complete defense in 2023 than you were in 2022. But I do still have the question about the run game because, quite frankly, I just don't think that they improved their interior defensive line, and that's one of the keys to stopping the run in the NFL in any form of football. I do think Bobby Wagner is going to upgrade their ability to stop the run from the second level, but from the first level of the defense, I'm not sure it's there as a run-stopping unit. We'll see how it plays out for them. Obviously, Jamal Adams' health, Jordan Brooks' health, that's going to be critical when it comes to stopping the run for the Seattle Seahawks, but love Devon Witherspoon and JSN. Those additions were so fun in the draft. I love their pass rush, love the vertical passing game, really like what they have in their secondary overall. Again, just comes down for me on the defensive side of the ball, that run defense. It was such a big hole in 2022. If they can just be average at stopping the run in 2023, I think it can dramatically improve their chances of, making it back to the playoffs, obviously, which I expect them to do, but potentially winning a playoff game or two. Like, would it shock me if they make it to the NFC Championship, if they're able to draw some favorable matchups in the playoffs and be playing their best football, be relatively healthy heading into the playoffs? No, it would not shock me, but it would shock me if they win the NFC outright. I just can't see that happening. Definitely a playoff team for me. Hard for me to pound the table for them beyond that. I love what Pete Carroll has done here with them to kind of reshape what they've got going on post Russell Wilson, but can't see them beating the likes of the San Francisco 49ers or the Philadelphia Eagles to get to that Super Bowl that the Seahawks fans are obviously clamoring for. That'll do it, though. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit me up on Twitter at Jordan DeLugo. Please, if you don't do anything else, just subscribe if you enjoyed the content here. Really helps us out. Again, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers during the 2023 NFL regular season. Really appreciate y'all. Have a good one.